everyone, and welcome to another Mastermind meetup. We are quickly approaching the end of our SNA election series. We have interviewed almost every candidate from the 2023 SNA election. Voting starts Wednesday. I'm really excited. We have back-to-back vice presidential candidates with us. Last night we had Stephanie Dillard. Tonight we have Paula Lucca. Paula, thank you so much for being with us on a Friday night. We're just really excited to get started. To those of you watching, you know the drill. If you have any questions for Paula, just comment with them. Paula, can you kick us off by telling us a little bit about yourself and your district?
Sure. So I am Senior Director of Child Nutrition Services with the Wake County Public School System, and we're located in Raleigh, which is the capital city of North Carolina. Our county includes about 13 towns and municipalities that covers an 850-mile geographic region. We have 198 schools serving approximately 159,000 students, and we're currently about 32% students eligible for free and reduced meals.
Okay. All righty. If you have seen any of these other meetups we've done, I'm going to run right through my questions, everybody. For Paula, the same I've asked all the candidates, but again, comment with your questions. That's what we're here for. So I guess I already kind of spilled the beans on this first one, so I'll ask questions 1 and 2 together. What position are you running for in the election, and what led you to the point today where you said, all right, I'm ready to run for this position, not just any position, but the one you're running for?
Well, I am running for vice president, which, as everyone knows, eventually progresses to be the president of the National Association. And what first, I think, led me here is that I gained a significant appreciation for SNA that goes back to when I first connected with SNA at a legislative action conference. And I want to say that's probably back in the late 80s when Thelma Becker was the president. And I remember walking into the meeting room. And at that time, I think there were probably only 350 attendees. So LAC has grown tremendously since. But I remember walking into that room, and it was so chock full of people. They had seats lined around the walls. I was so overwhelmed at LAC initially. But more than that, what I recall is being totally awestruck by the president, all of the directors, the other officers, the SNA staff, Marshall Matz, who led the charge for so many years, and just me recalling on the strength and stealth of SNA at the time, and really recognizing the impact that a collective group of members could make by charging the Hill and talking with our legislators about all of the important things that we needed for our program. So it goes back to then. But also, I do want to say that I felt that, it was also a part of just recognizing the gift of people giving that was so important. I've had priceless memories over the years that have come from a long-standing commitment to try to serve on our state association board in different capacities, finally as president, moving into the regional director's role with SNA. And I want to say, I think the most important thing that I've gleaned from all of that is that the leadership servitude stands as probably one of the most valuable things that I've had to benefit from over the course of my career. And that's really what's gotten me here. There have been times when I've thought about the presidency, but I've also known very clearly that to accept that responsibility requires a commitment. And, having transitioned here to North Carolina, feeling very committed to my school system, I knew that I couldn't really step up. And I knew it had to be like right place, right time, because that's what I believe in. And so as I reflected on it this year and considered it, I thought, well, this is the right time. And so that's why I'm here.
Awesome. I love that. And we've talked a lot the last 2 weeks about LAC has popped up in a lot of people's interviews, and rightfully so. It is the game changer that does open up eyes, like you said, to all things school nutrition. So as we were preparing for this, I'm looking through and everybody's bios, and everybody has long lists of committees they've chaired, and you've even mentioned some of them already. Positions you've held. Out of all those positions, leadership positions you've held so far, what is one that you're most proud of?
Well, leadership positions with SNA would
Yeah.
probably be Midwest Regional Director. And that's primarily because that gave me the opportunity to really get to know a lot of members in lots of states. I was there in the Midwest, and I had 8 states at the time. And traveling to those states and meeting members and doing presentations and helping to bring forward to them a lot of the agendas from SNA, I felt provided me with a great foundation for this position that I'm running for now. But it really allowed me to truly value the connectedness that SNA offers. And that's also something that I've gained a lot of appreciation for, primarily because I had a lot of fun working alongside a lot of the other directors in their roles at the time, but also because of the leadership skills that I gained, I think, as part of being on that team.
Awesome. So, similarly, what's a project or an accomplishment in your career that you're most proud of?
I'd have to say I'm going to go back to when the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act came into being. That was back, in I think 2012 when it was supposed to have been implemented. And the system that I worked in was quite complicated. And we recognized pretty quickly that our staff was going to need a lot of support. So we undertook an endeavor to try to create a training video. Understand, we didn't have access to professional resources. So we had to tap a lot of talent within. We had one of our IT staffers, helping with photography. We had our quality assurance manager helping with videography. We used green screen technology. We borrowed the backdrop from, I think, a Boston high school that we found online. And it was the most awesome video that we created together. But what I really got the most out of from that experience was I brought together a few people that hadn't historically been known to work really seamlessly well. And through this endeavor, I will have to say, we had the most extraordinary team experience we'd ever had before. So, facing something that was really difficult and challenging converted to some really great relationships and friendships after the project ended.
Oh, I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Um, if you have any questions for Paula, please chime in with them. I see that we do have some joining us just to watch live, but this is the time to ask those questions. So I just had a couple left for you for this evening. Is this question I love asking because I've gotten the funny, silly stuff. We've gotten like straight up professional answer. It runs the gamut. I love it. Election day is Wednesday. What's something that you'd like SNA members to know about you?
Well, thank you for acknowledging the silly versus the more professional leaning. I'm probably going to lean more on the silly side as I close, I should say.
Yeah.
So I think one thing I'd like to do is just share more about me that's not about leadership and that's not about my jobs I've had or, positions I've held, because I really feel that to round me out, you need to know a little bit more about who I am. So I'm going to start with about 4 items, and I'll try to make them quick. But the first thing I'd like everybody to know is I am the imperfect perfectionist. And by that, what I mean is that I really, really seek out opportunities to try to optimize things and make improvements where I can. I commit a lot of energy to try to get to that end goal, with whatever I'm involved in. But I recognize that what I desire to reach is not always practical, but I still look to get there. And so while I do that, I also recognize that when change is not even foreseeable, I try to find workarounds. So my background is actually art. That's what my bachelor's degree is in. And so I channel a lot of that creativity into my business operations so that I can try to invoke change. But at the same time, I also understand that Those imperfections sometimes can be troubling for a perfectionist. And I recognize that there's an important factor in being who I am, and that is that I have to let go of the inconsequential things because I know that it's really important to spend time on things that matter. The second thing, this is a fun fact. I've had the option to telework, but I have not yet teleworked. And the reason for that is I thrive on being around people. I've got a great team at work. We have a fun working office. And so, that's just something that I gravitate toward. And to liken it to the SNA experience, I think that's why all of the connectivity that SNA offers is so important to me, because I thrive on being around others. A third thing that I want to just share is that I typically appear really serious. So if you listen to my VP video, I'm going to come across real serious. But candidly, I like to have a lot of fun, and I've been known as a jokester at times. So I think what I'd like to just share about that is I truly, truly believe in finding work joy. We spend a lot of time at work, and we've got to find ways to make the impossible possible and actually be happy in the end. So that's something that for me is part of the fabric of who I am, as well as being grateful, saying thank you a lot, and then giving grace when needed to people who might need it. And then the last piece on that is it's going to be a little bit of a lighthearted finish. But, when SNA launched this year's National School Lunch Program, or I should say National School Lunch Week campaign, I will say it resonated like a grand slam, hit it out of the ballpark home run for me. And the reason for that is I already had tie-dyed goods. I already had my love beads from the 70s. And I have a piece buckle belt that I have been wearing for 20 years. All those things are in my wardrobe. So it was like a total inspiration and recognition of like me. So I'd like to have a redo. But in my finish here, I'd just like to say this is the one thing about me. The reason why I don all those things is because I really do believe in world peace, and that's what I want to see. Yeah. So it may not come in my lifetime, but it's something that's way out there on the horizon. I hope that happens.
Yeah, that was a very fun theme. And you're giving me, just because you're also in North Carolina, you're giving me flashbacks of the North Carolina conference. And all I can see is Imer Smith, like decked out. Did you see them when they did the workshop?
She was awesome.
Yeah, if you they had, just for you, those folks watching that aren't in North Carolina, or if you're in North Carolina, this is why you need to be at conferences. They had a workshop for cafeteria staff to like decorate things to take back to their cafeterias for National School Lunch Week. It was specifically for that, and they were head to toe ready to go. It was great.
I could have had every one of them.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's what I wanted when we first thought about doing this. I was like, it's to get to know people, because you're right. Those canned videos can, you get professional and all, but we're all people, and that's what's great about SNA, are all of these personalities. Love it. Well, we are going to be wrapping up. We're actually perfect, right on time. The last question, it's my favorite one to ask, is if elected at the end of your term, what do you hope to accomplish that will make people say, I'm so glad I voted for Paula?
Well, I truly believe that if we can enrich our membership experiences by trying to enhance the type of offerings that we make available, whether it's through opportunities for participation, whether it's the programming, it's some type of sharing that occurs, and growth for our members. I really believe that we can actually enhance the total vitality of the association and the effectiveness of our advocacy work. And that's because I believe our advocacy and our membership stealth actually relies on the membership. Or I should say the SNA stealth relies on our membership. I really would like to see some type of refreshed interest in our profession. I believe we have a truly exciting opportunity to try to invigorate our profession with new talent, and while honoring the talent that we currently have. And I would love to be able to see that come to fruition in ways that we haven't seen before. And I would be really, truly remiss to say that the one thing that I would love to be able to do is I would like to be the one to usher in universal meals. Um, and if we can't get that to happen, I would like to usher in at least some type of funding framework that provides us with greater opportunities for longstanding sustainability.
Yeah, we've actually just saw some legislation, and I'm sorry if I'm saying it incorrectly, but something's going on in Connecticut. I saw today on Facebook as well. So I love seeing these states, making strides for everyone in the long run. Paula, thank you so much for being with us, and we just really appreciate your time and sharing. And everyone watching, Election Day is, or not Election Day, it's 2 weeks. It's elections are 15th through the 28th. A couple of updates on our upcoming meetups. Tomorrow's meetup with Aaron Wiley has been moved to Sunday afternoon. So stay tuned for that. I'll post the new time. But Sunday afternoon will be with Aaron Wiley. Monday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern is with Susan Maffei. Both of them are running for those coveted at-large director positions. Remember, it's 8 folks running for 4 positions, and it is not a regional position anymore. You can vote for whomever you want across the country. And so we hope these mastermind meetups have helped you get to know these candidates that might not be in your region. So, Paula, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Sure, happy to have been here. Thank you for having me.